What up, Raphael? Welcome back to my channel. Here we are on the back road. This is Mandela Avenue, back road in Georgetown. That's the industrial zone, industrial side. It's about what, 6 a.m.? It's about 6 a.m. Thought I'd bring you on my morning run this morning. See what's going on here in Georgetown, the new developments. First 2 miles ran out to Meadowbank because I wanted to see whether the fish that is sold at Meadowbank is the same price on weekdays as it is on weekends. The last time I was at Meadowbank, it was like Saturday, and it seems as if fish was in abundance, particularly trout and snapper. So I went back during the week, that's today, to see if the prices are the same. It turns out it's actually more expensive to buy fish at Meadowbank on the weekdays. So if you're looking to buy trout and snapper, it's actually cheaper on the weekends. And that's actually where all the wholesale people go to buy their trout. But right now we're on the back road. I normally come out to the back road to check on new developments, and I normally take the East Coast seawall route on my morning runs when I want to check on what's happening on the East Coast. So today I'm actually going back to the East Bank bypass. We actually came from the East Bank Road, the old East Bank Road. So I came all the way up from the end of this road, that is back road, looking west towards East Bank Road. I'm heading towards the new East Bank bypass road to see what's happening over there. This is St. Road, right? Cemetery Road coming through. The cemetery here turns into St. Road again. We've done that neighborhood. And that neighborhood, that is West Rumveld. On this side, it's East Rumveld. Across the street over there, that's Roxanne Burnham Gardens. And further up, it's South Rumveld Gardens. But we're on the back road on Mandela Avenue. So yeah, I normally come around this way in my morning run. I usually run about 10 miles in the morning. Right now we're at mile 4, I think. I just completed about 3.5 miles. We're in mile 4. And I normally go all the way out to Ogle on the East Coast when I'm running in that direction. And in this direction I make a circuit that goes all the way out to perhaps Rome, this new neighborhood they're calling Rome, in just past Houston on the East Bank Bypass Road. But this is what early morning looks like in Georgetown. The traffic is not yet picked up. Usually come out at 5. I leave home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's usually too dark to start making videos at 4 o'clock in the morning because you need good low light camera, night vision camera. But I think once the sun rises you can start. So this is what it looks like at about 6 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. So we've actually looked at some of those neighborhoods. I've actually walked through some of those neighborhoods before, right, and posted those in videos. But today we're going live. I want to check out this new live feature on YouTube. I think the last time I went live was about 5 years ago, and it wasn't that good. So I haven't really used the live feature on YouTube. But now live is actually big on TikTok and Facebook. So I figured that YouTube, which is actually my preferred platform, would probably be rising to meet the challenge to sort of improve their live features. For example, on other platforms, you can go live with a group, you can share your screen with another live streamer, and so on. I think YouTube is now allowing you to do that. So that's what we want to do. Up the street here, that's a couple of new banks. So there are a couple of new banks that are being built. These are a couple of new banks. Demerara Bank and Citizens Bank, they're building new buildings in this neck of the woods. But I actually haven't seen much progress on these buildings since the last time when we visited. Let's go through. That's looking back. Looking back at Mandela Avenue, that is looking west along Mandela Avenue. And this is Roxanne Burnham Gardens. Well, that's the Brethren Church, East Ruimveldt Church here on the back road. So let's head in here. So this is the beginning. As you can see, this is connection to Barker Road, and now we're just gonna head through this South Ruimveldt Gardens. This end, with our technology, GT&T internet is not yet ready to support live streaming, at least not outside of like the city center near to these towers. However, here we are, guys. We're in South Ruimveldt Gardens, walking all the way towards the new East Bank bypass road. Came from Meadowbank this morning and took the back road.
Distance 4 miles. Duration 1 hour 5 minutes 42 seconds. Pace 19
Morning, guys.
minutes 45 seconds per mile. 608 kilocalories burned.
I'm on my morning run here in Georgetown, Guyana, and this is South Ruimveldt Gardens. It's a little after 6 a.m. in the morning here, and so the sun is coming up. It's just after sunrise. Like I said, I ran the first 2 miles, came out about 5 a.m. and ran the first 2 miles to Meadowbank to check out the situation with fish market over there. I wanted to see if the fish on sale at the Meadowbank wharf is cheaper during the week than it is as it is on the weekends, and found it's actually more expensive. You can get trout and snapper for about $500 a pound today, this morning. So a trout, a large snapper, for example, would be about $20,000. 20,000 is about $100 US. So large snapper this morning is about 20,000, but this is pretty large. It's probably about 20 pounds or more. Looks as if it might be 30 pounds. And the smaller snapper was about 6,000, smallest ones. And that's probably about 10 pounds of snapper. But it's a new neighborhood. This is Caneview Avenue. Caneview Avenue in South Ruimveldt Gardens. And we're walking east towards the east. All right, this is the beginning, right, the western end of South Gardens. And we're walking on the southern boundary That's Houston. Now, along the side of the road are new. But over here, this is a new neighborhood, a new housing development. It's called Floral Park. Floral Park Housing Development. It's being built by Basu Developers Inc. And they have a little map of the neighborhood. I've actually never been into this gated neighborhood, this gated community. Perhaps sometime in future I'll be able to take a look inside. And I'm showing you that all of these things are happening. This is fairly recent. It's probably within the last 5 years or so that they started building this gated community. This is the old neighborhood of South Roosevelt Gardens. Right on the north side of this road is the old neighborhood. And on the south side is the new neighborhood in Houston. So what we're doing is showing you what's happening here in Guyana, because the country is changing rapidly. It's not always consistent and smooth. There's a whole lot of noise because, of course, there are people grappling for power and control, especially economic power and control. And a lot of it is, just regular American capitalism, American style capitalism. It's driven by money and lobbying. What we used to call bribery in Guyana, it's now called lobbying. And they've actually imported that style of capitalism here. And this is a result of it. So we're just looking at what is changing and how it's changing, particularly for my friends and family living abroad in North America and Europe who've moved away from here. Some people have left 50 or 60 or 40 years ago. And the whole idea is to bring you up to date, to give you a first-hand look at how things are changing down here in Guyana and how rapidly, in fact, it's changing. Now, this is the southern boundary of South Roosevelt Gardens. We're on Caneview Avenue, and it's about 6:15 a.m. perhaps now. I've made a few videos about this neighborhood recently, and it's interesting to me because it actually looks like an early Ontario, where Ontario looked. That's David Rose Street. That's David Rose Street here in South Roosevelt Garden. It looks the way Ontario looked back in the 1990s. When we drive to Ontario from New York, when you drove over, say, the Peace Bridge and onto the QEW, it found that the road surface, even the road surface, was different. You knew that you were no longer in New York because, of course, that southern end of Ontario was not maintained. Now, of course, if you drive on the QEW, you couldn't tell the difference, right? You couldn't tell that you were not in the US anymore, because they've actually made a lot of progress in improving the infrastructure in Ontario. But this is what's happening here, guys. This is South Roosevelt Gardens, and we're approaching the intersection with the new bypass road, new East Bank bypass road. And up ahead, that's the new 4 Points. That's the new 4 Points hotel that's being built out here. It's right at the corner of this Caneview Avenue and East Bank Bypass Road. If you look north, that's towards the back road, and yeah, I'm probably gonna make trips outside of Georgetown eventually, but for now we're stuck in Georgetown because this is where a lot of the oil money is being spent. So this is the new East Bank bypass road. This is where a lot of the oil money is being spent. Somebody's dropped bags of sand all along the road since the last time I was here, which is a couple of days ago. But over here, this is the new 4 Points hotel that's being built. Right, this is the new 4 Points hotel. And that's what they've built so far. It's actually changing pretty rapidly, although I expected it to be much faster, changing much faster. So this is what they've built so far. It seems as if they're building the entire structure of one end. You know, traditionally, if you're building with cement and rebar, you would build one floor at a time. What these guys have done is they've built the western or the eastern end of the building from top to bottom. The 4 floors have been completed, and then they're just extending those floors. They're extending those 4 floors laterally. And this building, on the other hand, is using the traditional cement and rebar. But this is what it looks like out here on Wednesday morning on the East Bank Bypass Road. Morning. That's looking north towards Georgetown. We're actually in Houston now. We just crossed over from South Ryan Belt into Houston, where we came off of Caneview Avenue onto the back road, and here we are in Houston. And we're actually walking in the middle, in between the 2 lanes, northbound and southbound lanes of the East Bank Bypass Road. Now over here is where they're building this new shopping center, and they're building a new shopping center and a hospital over here, and just started building this is the foundation for the shopping center, and that's the foundation and the first floor for the hospital being constructed. On the other side, all this land I believe is being commercialized, so it's going to be commercial property. Don't know why they put all this sand out here. Seems as if... Okay, so apparently they're cleaning the place up. So these bags of sand seems to have been swept up from the side of the road. Hopefully that's what it's doing. They're going to remove it. Right, based on what I see inside here, it's kind of dirty sand. So guys, this is what's happening out here in Houston, south of Georgetown, south of South Roosevelt Gardens. This land apparently is being cleared for some kind of construction. See, the cranes are already there. And further along, they've already started building warehouses and commercial complexes. So for stores and outlet stores. These vehicles are heading into the city, so traffic coming towards me, heading into Georgetown. Traffic going away from me right now is heading out of Georgetown on the east bank. This road only extends for about 2.5 miles. I think I showed that video. But the whole point of this road is supposed to be a alternative to the East Bank bypass, to the East Bank Road. So this is supposed to go all the way to Tamari. Right now it's just about 2.5 miles long. New roads are being constructed in this neck of the woods all the time. So this is a new cross street that's being built, and they're all along here. They're being built all along. Here, that's looking north towards South Roosevelt Gardens. Right, that's north towards South Roosevelt Gardens, where we just left. And this is south. So the reason why I think these white bags, on the side of the road is clean up, because I took a look inside and what you see is dirty sand. This one has a shoe in it. So I'm assuming that these white bags on the side of the road are the result of cleanup efforts. They've been cleaning up the side of the road, for example, leaving these mounds. So they've been cleaning up the side of the road, basically picking up these mounds and putting them into these white sacks that are left on the divider. So that's what's happening here. These bags actually reflect the cleanup effort, where they're trying to pick up all of this trash from the side of the road. In the meantime, development continues. So eventually, this entire area is going to be a commercial zone, and see all kinds of businesses, including hotels and restaurants and shopping malls and shopping centers and outlet malls. Apparently that's the plan for this neck of the woods, and it reflects where the money is going, or at least some of the money is going, that comes in from the oil and gas industry. These are cameras, security cameras on the pole here. They're supposed to be traffic cameras looking at traffic out here. What I find, however, is that a lot of these cameras are already broken. The company Huawei, Chinese company, has been contracted to set up all these security cameras in the country. And from my observation, especially in the last 2 or 3 months, the internet connection from these cameras is broken, which means that a lot of these cameras are really not providing a live feed to security services. How do I know that? Because typically you'd be able to connect to the internet to Wi-Fi anywhere along the line with these cameras. So wherever you see a camera in Georgetown, you usually can connect to Wi-Fi if the camera is working. And more of these cameras are not working because when I pass them, I can't connect to the Wi-Fi that feeds the signal from those cameras back to central command center. And that brings to the question, why is it that we have used Huawei or Chinese companies to set up these security networks, security apparatus, without first, having a bidding competition to provide these equipment. A lot of the contracts, and that's one of the complaints that Guyanese have about the way our newfound oil resources, oil wealth is being spent. A lot of these infrastructure investments are going in no-bid contracts to people who are connected to the government without competition and without proper debate. So this sort of thing should probably have been tabled in the House of Parliament, should have been debated, depending on the best information of the time, deciding who should provide our security apparatus. There are great security companies in Europe, meaning companies that provide hardware, cameras, street cameras, and so on. Morning. So there are great companies in Europe, in North America, in Asia, but somehow, without consulting with any of the experts or even the local community, the government decided to give these contracts to a Chinese company or to Huawei to provide all of these security cameras. And so now you have about 2 years into the project, into starting to roll out these cameras, half of them don't work anymore. And nobody's talking about that, right? So that is one of the complaints, that a lot of the money is being wasted in this way, that you have stuff that looks good, it looks as if we're improving, but the quality is not that good. The roads are actually not being built to code or to standards that are internationally accepted. This, for example, is a new road that's being constructed by, I think this company is called Amcon. It's building these roads. And I've actually seen them build this road over the last month or so. Last time I was out in this neighborhood, they hadn't yet started constructing this part of the road. Now, of course, they're doing some excavation, probably putting in foundation. All right, so this is probably the foundation for this road. What it is a deep trench they're building in which they're gonna pour sand. This is the road that's completed. This one, of course, was not built in the same way. At least I didn't see them constructed in the same way. So now that you can see, this is probably more of a heavy-duty road, at least this section of it, because it seems to be being built with some kind of plan. There are these canals in the middle of the road that is uncovered. The problem with having this arrangement is if there's an accident, a car could actually end up, or a vehicle, any other vehicle could end up inside of this trap. Right? So if you're going to build something like this, you probably should cover it. It's a bridge over a canal. You should probably cover it to make sure that it's safe, so that somebody doesn't end up in an accident inside that canal and drown because it's too difficult to get out. But that's the problem with, these contracts that are being awarded without consultation. these no-bid contracts where the government simply gives out billions of dollars to people who are members of friends and family of the ruling party. And what you get is the appearance of progress, but a lack of quality because it's not exposed to debate and competition. Right? A lot of it is just sloppy work being done by people who are unqualified and of poor quality, so that a lot of the money ends up in as profit instead of being used in the
distance 5 miles,
construction.
duration 1 hour 29 minutes 3 seconds, pace 23 minutes 20 seconds per mile, 770 kilocalories burned.
Of high quality infrastructure. Now over here, this is supposed to be a new outlet mall, commercial shopping center. Right, that's the new commercial shopping center that they're building out here. And these couple of buildings are the first few buildings in the shopping center and the complex. Good morning, guys, whoever's still watching. These are the couple of buildings that are out here in the shopping complex. And on the other side, still a lot of vacant land waiting for construction. So that's what's happening in this neck of the woods. It's a lot of development and plans for development, and some of it being executed, but we don't know the quality. You actually can't be sure that it's the kind of infrastructure that will last a long time. And there's evidence that maybe it won't. Some dogs. Showing some interest. Yeah, so this is the new shopping complex, new shopping mall that's being built out here in Houston, or Rome. Alright, so we're now in Rome. The village of Rome is south of Houston. And so they're building this new shopping center, which I believe will house a lot of the local stores. Now my idea of this is that it's going to be an outlet mall where you could probably come and do a lot of your wholesale shopping, or at least get like wholesale prices, the way you could go to say Tanger outlet malls across the US, or even like some of the large Walmart and Costco warehouses. But this is actually moving a little slower than I thought it would. I think last time I checked on this was sometime 3 or 4 months ago, and it seems as if it's in exactly the same state of development. But I understand this is going to be a long mall, right, extending the entire length of this fence. So it's a commercial shopping center that should fill this complex. And over here, that's vacant land that used to be cane fields, sugar cane fields, that is also being developed for commercial property. I guess more hotels and shopping centers, shopping malls, and so on. They've actually built. So they've actually built this road already. This is a cross street. That one's been built. And this continues north. Or south, continues south. But that's it, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. We started out way over there where they're building that 4 points. So that's the 4 points. The 4 points resort that they're building just at the boundary of South Roundel Gardens. And all of this land is going to be developed for commercial property. So here we are, guys. It's about 5 miles into my morning run. I'm just completing my morning run and thought I would go live and show you some of the things that I encounter every morning when I come out here to do my run, showing you in fact that there's a lot of rapid development in Guyana, but some of it, the quality of it, is not yet up there with what we'd expect. I'm hoping that over time we would improve the quality of our infrastructure, because it's not there yet. But it's, as it probably gets older, in other words, as we get further deeper into the cycle of oil wealth, that eventually we learn from these mistakes and learn to demand more from our contractors and start being more ambitious in what we construct with our wealth, with our oil money. I'm going to do a video later on today examining the state of the Natural Resource Fund. The Bank of Guyana has released the second quarter report. I think in July they came out with a second quarter report showing that Natural Resource Fund now has $1.7 billion sitting in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And I'm going to read that report and explain it in a video later on today, which I'll post to YouTube. The whole idea is to give you a kind of background to a lot of the development that I've been covering in the last 6 months or so in these videos I'm making, because the money is actually coming from the oil and gas industry, and we want to know exactly how much of it is being spent and has been spent so far. In the last year, I think they spent about $800 million from the oil and gas fund, and that is being reported in quarterly reports, which I've covered in the past, but which I'll probably continue to do in future and give you the current one, the second quarter report for 2023, later on today. But this is what's happening out here, at least in this neck of the woods. Like some of you said, I will actually go around further out of the country, further out to the country, to the other regions, to see how the money is being spent, what in fact is being built, in other regions, Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, and so on, all the way to Region 10. Show that you can compare where the money is going and what it's being spent on. Here in Guyana. So that's what's coming up, guys. This is just a test of the live streaming potential for YouTube. Remember, the last time I streamed live was about 5 years ago, and I didn't think it was that good. So I never bothered to stream again, but based on the feedback from this one, I'll probably do a regular live stream on YouTube from Georgetown or from wherever I am in the country. So share the news, share the message about live streaming. I'll probably try to do it about once a day in future, like every day at around this time, and so you can get other people to join and let's examine what's happening in Guyana during this period of rapid economic growth. So that's it, guys. That's what's up in this neck of the woods. Share this live stream with friends and family. Tell them to join us daily to get a first-hand live take on what's happening in Guyana. Later.